Finally, for our last cue, I'm gonna kill this guy. Do most Muslims want Sharia law in Western societies? If so, then why? They are not their societies to tamper with, and if they are not happy with it, then surely they should live in other societies, not alter other people. I would leave this country if I had a system in place that I wasn't happy with. Although I do not conform to some of media views of Sharia law, I definitely would not want it, and it would be a definite step back from our ever-evolving law, judicial and protective system that has progressed with our intelligence and our social understanding. Sharia law is far outdated system that has barely been changed in over 1,000 years, and therefore could not in no way be considered for use in a modern society, in my opinion. I found it really interesting talking with you, and a little feedback. Sam Jennings. Okay, I would like to start at this point with something that Bernaccio said. You know Bernaccio, the sarcastic writer? Come on, he's a British guy. Okay, he said, Islam is a unique system. Europe will be lucky if it achieves something similar to it within the next 200 years. He also said, if Muhammad was alive, he would solve the world problems while he's sipping a cup of coffee. Sadly, I don't know what was the reference for that. I read that long time ago and I can't remember what was the book or where he wrote that or which article or whatever. But how did Bernaccio reach to that conclusion? George Sale has translated, probably he was the first person to translate the Holy Quran into English. Although George Sale himself was an anti-Islamic person, but he was honest when he translated the Quran. He translated it as most accurate as he could. George Bernaccio read that translation for George Sale. And this is why he came up with this. Actually, he studied Islam a little bit more, and I heard that he wrote a book about that, but it never saw the light. Anyhow, I would like to start to comment about something you mentioned at the last part of your question. You said Sharia law is far outdated system that has barely changed in over 1,000 years. And that's 100% true. That doesn't make you think a little bit? You said that. You didn't think about it? You said about your system, about your life, about your system that has progressed with our intelligence and our social understanding. So something that's progressing, something that you've been building up for a very long time. While Islam never changed, or the Sharia law never changed in the past 1,000 years. Why you were building it up? Why it's something that progressed with your intelligence, with your society, maturity, and so on? Why? Because every time you advance more, you learn more, so you correct more. Either you correct a mistake or you improve something. So every time when you change laws, you change it in order to improve. You need to improve it. It wasn't perfect. What if, for the sake of discussion, you reached a limit where things are perfect? It can't get any better. Then you will never ever need to change anything. That doesn't ring a bell? Islam never been changed. Have you ever thought why? And don't think because in the past 1,000 years things were very slow. No, Islam at that time, or the Islamic society, was a very dynamic society, a multicultural society filled with all type of contradictions, all type of people, all type of situations. Was very changing society. with very challenging things they faced. Actually, after all, we ruled the world for more than 1,400, more than 1,000 years. We were the undisputed power in the world, in everything, not military, not over dominance, no, with knowledge, with writing, with art, with everything. Science was our game. We invented, actually, do you know that algebra, actually it's an Arabic word from al-jabr, wal-muqabala? Tan, cotan, sine, cosine, we all invented that. Anyhow, that's not our topic, but Islam was spread over a huge, large area. Millions of people are living, millions of backgrounds, millions of people with different backgrounds were ruled by Islam, and yet there was no need to change anything. You know, the country was very powerful in enforcing Islam, so nobody dared to think to change anything. That's very wrong. First of all, the majority of Muslims never lived inside the Islamic State. Do you know that? Do you know that the majority of Muslims nowadays, around 70%, they live in areas that never been ruled by Muslims, by the Islamic State? Indonesia, Malaysia, Chechnya, China, and so all these Far East areas, we never ruled them. The ruling of Islam, the political ruling of Islam, the state, the Islamic Empire stopped at the borders of China. We didn't advance anymore. The Chinese signed truce with us, and they respected that truce, so we never had a problem for 1,000 years with the Chinese. And according to this treaty, if anybody wants to become a Muslim, the Chinese will not harm him, will not try to prevent. This is why Islam spread naturally and easily without the ruling of the Islamic State to reach these areas. So these people, around 75 or 70% of Muslim populations, never been under the ruling and the control of the Islamic State. In another word, they were running by their own. So they formed several independent states, each society, each something, they lived alone. If Islam wasn't suitable for them, they simply would alter it to their needs, just as happened with many religions all over the world. Islamic Empire and the Islamic State never been one unit for all its time. Many times we had fall downs, that we split into kingdoms and we actually started killing and fighting each other. At that time, that would be a great opportunity for every political part to take Islam to his side, to alter it as he like, and do things in the way to bend things in his favor. And yet nobody done that. So to say that the Islamic State actually enforced Islam and forbid people from changing it, that's not true. You are right when you say it's a system written by 1,000 years by an illiterate man in the middle of the desert. Yeah, what would he know? Yeah, you're true. But if it actually was the rule of God, let's assume for the sake of discussion that, okay, it's the rules of God. Do you think anyone can top it? After all, he's the designer of the humans. He's the creator of the humans. He know what he created. He know this will be the user manual. It was customized for the human. No one will be able to top that. No one will need to update that. After all, since the creation of the universe and the laws that running the universe, the chemical laws, the gravity law, the galactical law, the biological laws, they are all the same. God said in the Holy Quran, doesn't he know what he have created? And he's the most compassionate, the most expert. In another verse he said, are you greater in your creation or the heavens? We're nothing. If you compare it, if you look to the universe, we're literally nothing. And yet the laws that running the universe, it's the same since it was created. Do you think it would be difficult for God to put some laws to govern us, the teeny-weeny nothing humans, for a few thousand years? Definitely not. Now the question is these the Sharia law, are the laws of God or not? Well, you have to put it to the test. You need to examine it yourself. Even if I tell you, yes, it is, you'll not believe me, won't you? Now to the first part of your question, which is, do most Muslims want Sharia law in Western societies? Again, do I look like the spokesman of all Muslims? No, 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 no. Not only the Muslims. In Western, I never been there. The furthest I went is to France when I was flying in transit, Charles de Gaulle airport. I was going to Gambia. This is the furthest I go, and only Greece. And you expect me to be expert on what Muslims are doing in Western societies as more than one or two societies? Come on, I don't know. Okay, now when you say they try to tamper and adjust and laws, again, I don't know what you're talking about. Are they just trying to find an environment suitable for them and you don't like that? Or they are trying to change the entire society even if they don't want to? Again, I don't know. So you need to tell me exactly what you're talking about. If they want to change the entire society, actually that cannot happen. And as I said before, even if, let's say I'm Emperor Zayed Hamad and I overrule some country, the Sharia laws apply only on Muslims. Non-Muslims can live their life as they want. Of course, there are certain degrees of liberty in that. You can't go completely against the country, but in general, yes, as a non-Muslim, you live your life as you like. You live by your own laws. So it will not bother you. So again, I don't know what exactly you're referring to by this question, but this is the best I can answer. This brings us to the end of our episode. Woo! Thank you very much for your interesting questions, and I apologize for all people for my, talking too much, but I can't help it. Sorry for that. I hope you found this episode very interesting and very useful. Hope to see you soon. By the way, the survey is over. I had enough data that I need. Inshallah, very soon I will share you with the results of my survey. Thank you very much for taking part of this survey, and thank you very much for watching this video. This is Ziad signing out. Peace.